Lisa Bonet has always existed on the edge of Hollywood's expectations, a star who never quite fit the glossy mold of fame, a woman whose essence felt too rare, too authentic for the relentless machinery of the entertainment world. But in recent years, after parting ways with Jason Momoa, something remarkable has happened. The transformation she has embraced isn't loud or performative. It isn't fueled by headlines, dramatic makeovers, or reinvention tours. Instead, it is quiet, deliberate, and profoundly powerful. Could a retreat from the public eye, one that looks almost invisible at first glance, actually be a display of strength? Could stepping away from cameras, red carpets, and social media be a form of agency, a statement of control over one's own life? For Lisa, the answer is yes. Her evolution is defined by stillness, intentionality, and authenticity, a rare type of transformation in a world that rewards visibility above all else. Lisa Bonet's shift after her separation from Jason Momoa did not arrive with fanfare. There were no viral announcements, no magazine covers screaming dramatic reinvention. Instead, those closest to her noticed subtle changes first. Changes in posture, in demeanor, in the energy she carried. Friends describe her as lighter, calmer, grounded in a way that felt deliberate. This was not a classic rebound story, or a public unraveling. It was something far deeper, a shedding of old layers, a reclamation of a self that had long been overshadowed by expectation. Hollywood thrives on spectacle, reinvention tours, and calculated comebacks. But Lisa offered none of that. Her retreat was a quiet revolution, a deliberate step away from the machinery of fame toward something more meaningful. Her public appearances became rare, roles grew scarce, and social media, a modern tool for validation, was deliberately ignored. To the outside world, it might have looked like disappearance, but in reality, it was conscious realignment. She was prioritizing authenticity over visibility, personal truth over public approval, and mental and emotional peace over applause. Court records later confirmed that her emotional separation from Momoa had preceded any public announcement. She had already been living the aftermath privately, reshaping her daily life around routines that nurtured stillness and inner balance. In a culture obsessed with reinvention and constant movement, Lisa's slower pace was revolutionary. Lisa Bonet's journey toward transformation didn't begin with her separation from Jason Momoa. It started long before, rooted in a childhood shaped by displacement and introspection. Born in San Francisco and raised in Los Angeles, Lisa grew up in a predominantly white, affluent neighborhood, feeling like an outsider from an early age. As the only child of divorced parents, loneliness and self-reliance became defining forces. This early sense of not fitting cultivated a restless spirit, one that would later drive her to pursue her own path, often outside Hollywood's comfort zones. Acting was almost accidental, an invitation to a class by a friend, but it gave her an arena where being different was celebrated rather than punished. She experienced belonging not through conformity but through embracing her uniqueness. Her career took off with a guest role on St. Elsewhere, but her breakout came at 16 with The Cosby Show. As Denise Huxtable, Lisa became part of a beloved cultural touchstone overnight. Yet fame brought confinement. Behind the scenes, producers noticed that Lisa could not, or would not, simply perform what was expected. Marcy Carsey, one of the show's producers, would later reflect that Lisa's authenticity was unshakable. She was never going to be anyone other than herself. This tension between expectation and self-definition would mark her career, pushing her toward choices that were sometimes controversial, always deliberate. Her journey was a balancing act between public perception and private identity, a balancing act that continues to define her transformation today. At 18, Lisa made a choice that would solidify her reputation as an actor unwilling to be confined. She took the lead in Angel Heart, a dark, psychological, and openly sexual film that stood in stark contrast to her wholesome television image. Critics focused less on the story and more on perceived betrayal of the Denise Huxtable persona. The backlash was swift, harsh, and personal. Yet Lisa never framed this as rebellion. She explained in interviews that television actors were rarely taken seriously in film and that she sought roles that challenged her artistically. It was a conscious prioritization of craft over comfort, authenticity over public expectation. This pattern, resisting confinement and asserting autonomy, would echo through her career and personal life, foreshadowing the transformation that would follow her relationship with Jason Momoa. Early Hollywood taught Lisa a lesson. Compliance could buy temporary fame, but it would trap her in identities she did not own. Her decisions to step away from projects, challenge industry norms, or pursue unconventional roles were guided not by ego but by a commitment to her evolving self. This foundation of autonomy set the stage for the transformation we witness today. Motherhood reshaped Lisa Bonet's life in ways that fame never could. The birth of her daughter, Zoe Kravitz, slowed her pace, shifting priorities from career advancement to emotional depth and stability. Rather than attempting to maintain a high-profile presence, Lisa embraced privacy, routine, and the deeply personal work of raising a child outside Hollywood's relentless glare. Her marriage to musician Lenny Kravitz, though intense and highly publicized, also highlighted the challenges of balancing personal life with public scrutiny. The separation, while painful, became another opportunity for Lisa to focus on her own growth and values. Moving to Topanga Canyon, nestled in nature, offered a sanctuary where she could cultivate a life rooted in authenticity. Yoga, writing, outdoor living, and time with her daughter became her daily practice. It was also during this period that Lisa took the bold step of changing her name to Lila Coy Moon, a move not for publicity but to reclaim her identity from Hollywood's narrative. This act was emblematic of her broader philosophy. She would no longer allow public expectations to dictate her life. She defined herself, her beauty, and her path entirely on her own terms. Lisa Bonet met Jason Momoa in a jazz club in Los Angeles, long before he became the global star known today. Their connection was grounded in authenticity rather than performance. Jason brought openness and emotional presence. Lisa brought experience, stability, and a deep understanding of the demands of fame. Their marriage formed a blended family dynamic that was both rare and intentional, integrating Zoe Kravitz while maintaining strong bonds with extended family. Friends describe their union as a balance of love and autonomy, a partnership defined not by spectacle but by shared values and mutual respect. Yet as Jason's career accelerated, the rhythms of their lives began to diverge. Long shoots, international travel, and the relentless momentum of Hollywood contrasted with Lisa's carefully cultivated stillness. Their separation was not dramatic but inevitable, a quiet recognition that their paths had grown apart. Months of private adjustment preceded any public announcement, underscoring the intentionality and emotional maturity behind their decision. Lisa Bonet's retreat from the public eye is not a story of defeat, it is a story of mastery. In an industry obsessed with visibility, she has made absence a radical statement. Friends describe a life structured by deliberate routines: yoga, dance, time outdoors, and reflection, rather than reaction to public opinion. She maintains her beauty through simplicity and consistency rather than correction. Minimal makeup, natural skin care, and honoring the body's integrity over cosmetic reinvention. Her approach challenges Hollywood's rigid standards and offers a model of influence rooted in authenticity rather than spectacle. Withdrawal, in Lisa's case, is a form of completion. It is the assertion that success and influence are not measured by visibility or applause but by alignment with one's truth. In stepping back, she demonstrates a new kind of power, a power not loud but undeniable. Lisa Bonet's transformation also extends to cultural influence. She rejects the conventional anti-aging narrative and the notion that women must constantly perform youth to be valuable. Instead, she embraces maintenance, ritual, and respect for her body's natural rhythm. Her philosophy is mirrored in her parenting. When Zoe faced public speculation about cosmetic procedures, Lisa responded with honesty and grace, emphasizing that the body is not a public project. Influence, Lisa demonstrates, does not require visibility or dramatic gestures. It grows from integrity, presence, and the quiet assertion of self. Through her journey, Lisa has redefined beauty, power, and influence, not as spectacle but as authentic existence. Hollywood may resist this model, but it resonates deeply with anyone seeking freedom from external validation and performance. Today, Lisa Bonet embodies a rare kind of evolution. Her life is measured by intention, stability, and inner fulfillment. She returns to acting selectively, not for approval but for self-expression. She maintains routines that honor her body, her spirit, and her family. Her story reminds us that transformation does not always demand noise or spectacle. Sometimes the most radical act is to live quietly, deliberately, and authentically. Sometimes stepping away is the ultimate statement. Lisa Bonet's evolution is a masterclass in authenticity, an invitation to reconsider what it truly means to be successful, beautiful, and influential in a world obsessed with constant visibility. In her quiet revolution, she teaches us that real power lies in choosing oneself first, and that a life fully lived is not measured by applause but by inner alignment and truth.